So you can see this pattern here on XRP. You can see it played out here, the consolidation pattern, and again the same consolidation pattern played out here, and now it's playing out on this one, yeah. And because of the previous place in the pattern, I wasn't expecting this high to break. I thought this was going to hold, so it actually went up further. And I'll explain why. In a moment, yeah. So I had Mihaela talk me through the white coffee accumulation a bit more the other day, and I started to look at it. And map it out. So now here's where I mapped it out, and I will close these for now. I'm just setting up the scene, Lee. Yeah, setting up the scene. You don't have to remember all this. But if you can just follow it for a sec, yeah. So here's the white coffee accumulation. So this is the pattern here, yeah. And you can see that the tree drops down. It does a 1, 2, and then heads up. So there's the 1, 2, and it heads up, yeah. So now here it does a 1, 2, 3. From here it does a 1, 2, 3. Now it didn't break below here, but here's the 1, 2, 3. Then it heads up for another peak. And again, this peak wasn't that high. Before it comes down again is 1. How would I do this? 1, 2, 3, and again this is where you get to low. So really what you're looking for is 3 lows here. You got the bottom, you got another lower low, and you got another lower low. So on this one, again, same but different, is this is where it bottomed out in the previous bear market, yeah. And then you have the gradual lift up, and the breakout, and essentially that's the wave, yeah. So now, excuse me, we're here again, and you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 steps down, the 1, 2, and up. There's a 1, 2, and up, and then we head down. We start to head down here, yeah. So now on this one, it did a lower low here. Now this is a difficult one to read. So what I did was I took this section here and I mapped it out, and then I did the same here. Now when I take this over here and you look at it, as you can see, this is very similar, all the same steps. It's just on this one you got less of a drop, where this one you got a bigger drop. So this sideways action is higher here, so that when it has the space to get an extra drop down here, where on this one, if you actually put them together, as you can see, actually the bottom here and the bottom here are the same. So they actually traveled in the same space. Is just over here is there was a much bigger drop at the start. So all this sideways playing out here. Now this is a white coffee accumulation in itself as well, yeah. So now is you can see that it set a bottom, it set another bottom, it set a third bottom. Where this one we've set a bottom and it hasn't broken down again, yeah. It hasn't gone and done a lower low yet. And if you look at this lift here, is this lift here, and then here's the final drop down. So this is why following this pattern is you can see the lifts here, they don't retrace back up that much, where this one you can see it's retraced back up. It's retraced back up higher, and that's where we are That's where we are here. You can see that this is broken through higher here, where I was anticipating that this level would hold and then it would head down. So same but different. But this is in fact following the consolidation pattern. That it'll peak here. This is either the peak where it is now. It may go all the way up to 42.5, possibly 43.5 before it comes back down. It looks like it's turning, but it may go up a little higher. Yeah. So now in this smaller Wyckoff accumulation, we still need at least one lower low. So the low here, the low in this is 30. Where is this? 31, 31.12, 31.26. So we need a drop below that. So we're at least going to get a drop, I reckon, of around the 30 mark. However, the bigger time frame here needs a bigger drop. So below the lower low here, the 28.65. So potentially this drop is going to go to anywhere. I'd say if it doesn't go any higher here, it'll be around the 25 mark. If this level here goes up to 42 or 43, it'll pull this up to around the 26.5 mark, and we'll get a drop there. Now it could be much lower. It could be much lower, or wherever it goes here is potential. Now on the Wyckoff accumulation is this final lift here should have gone lower and it didn't on the accumulation, yeah. Before it decided to fully work back up. Have I got that right? Have I got that right? No, my apologies. No, I'm going ahead of myself. Yeah, there's one low, there's a low. Yeah, this has three lows. My apologies. Okay, so now this one is, we have one on the bigger scale time frame. We have one low. We have a second low. Okay, now I'm zooming back in. So one low is here, the second low is here, and this one here, we are due our third low. 1, 2. Now, Lee, I know you're hungover, so you don't need to follow all this so much. See, this is the thing. You get these right. You get these straight in your head, and then you have to go over them again and again and again. So 1, 2, 3. So here's this here. 1, 2, 3. Then you get the 1, 2, 3. You get the 1, 2, 3. See, this hasn't gone lower, so potentially this could be the 1, 2, 3. Okay. This here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, now I got it. Okay. Okay. Now I got it. Back up to here. Then back down here. down, it works this way. Okay, I can do this later. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, there we go. There we go. So we're here. 1, 2, 3. So there's the second low. And then potentially we're going to come back up here and do a third low. So now within this Wyckoff range here, is this Wyckoff range hasn't had a lower low yet. So this drop here when it comes in will go need to break below at least the 31, and potentially it could break below the 28 and could go all the way to around the 25 mark. There we go. And then after that, this smaller cycle starts to find its way back up and starts to see this here, break its way out of this Wyckoff. So you can see here, this section here is a Wyckoff accumulation in itself, and we haven't had the lower low here. So we need a lower low here, and then it'll start to wake. We should get a nice pump and a push here, which will be part of that bigger red cycle, and then we'll have another lower low here. So potentially here, this drop here will be a bit more drama in the crypto world. I think what's going to happen here is over the next couple of months we'll get a fantastic lift, and when the Fed pivots, is normally when the Fed pivots and starts to soften out in January and February, is between now and then, March even, there will be a lift, and then there's generally a 50% drop. Historically, there's been a final rally and then a 50% drop in the stock market. And I think that this air final drop here for crypto will also be when the stock market drops and we get this final low. So locally in here, we have this range going on, and we need a lower low before we start to head back up. So that's the story, and then it would fit in with, when we move locally into the pattern we're in now, is it would fit in with the pattern here as well. Look, is that, no, I'll correct myself here a little bit as well, because look, this pattern here, here's this low, it came back up, it broke this level, it came down, it only came to the support level here, it didn't actually do a lower low. This one here didn't actually do a lower low. In this one here is, again, there's the bottom, it came back up here and then came down and again broke the support, dropped, didn't actually do a lower low here either, didn't actually break it. Excuse me. So, and that is the difficulty. Because remember, this one here set lower lows nice and easy, but this drop wasn't as deep, so it was shallower. It gave space for nice simple levels. Where this one here, this drop was steeper. So look, all this sideways here is, it didn't allow for lower lows because of this drop from here. Sort of sucked all the space out of the room, so to speak. Yeah. So now the challenge is how low is this going to go? Are we going to get a lower low below here with 31, a lower low below 28, which would be the 25? It would seem that, yeah, we're due one, which we're definitely due one. Is, I believe, the bigger time frame. The bigger time frame here here, the 1, 2, 3, which takes, well, it's hard to say. 1, 2, 3. It's hard to say. I can't say that. I can't say the bigger time frame. I can't say the bigger time frame is needs to go lower. But the shorter time frame, excuse me, hasn't had a lower low yet. So it seems like there's normally 2, and it's only had the 1 or 3. 1, 2, 3, and at the moment, this lower time frame one has only had 1 low. It has one. It hasn't created. There's a potential for 2 more. It hasn't created either one of them. Okay. So it's due one. It's due one. And then you can see the levels here is nice clear levels. See 1 level, 2 levels. Again, there's a 3rd level. There's a 3rd level due. Yeah. You can even see the support range here, just at a very simple putting the mark on it. The top here is 43, 40. So potentially this might go up this far. Yeah. Put it there. 42.50, 42.60, and at the moment it's actually retraced. It's retraced. Show you now on the daily. On the daily, it has retraced back to has it hit it yet? Yes, it has. Yes, there you go. It is retraced back to the 55 EMA, and you can see from the crossing here, the spill. Here's the 20, here's the 55. So here's the back test to the 55. Seems like there's a rejection of it from it going on at the moment. Equally, here's the 50 SMA, which again, I'd said that when price action breaks the 50 SMA in a daily, is a back test to it will be the test of another push down. Yeah. Because of the pattern, I thought the 200 MA here would hold and keep pushing it down, because last time it got to the same place in the pattern, the 200 and the 50 were right together, and it held. So this was holding so well that I thought, okay, it looks like the 200 is going to hold it. We're not going to go visit the 50. We ended up going and visiting the 50 yesterday. So that would indicate if it holds a push down, it might want to push up to the 50 MA, and then that's it at 43.79. So there could be another push in it. Yeah. Is on the pattern that I'm talking about for the bigger drop is the 4-day. Remember showing you this is the different bullish divergences on the 4-day. Is there's a pattern where you get a sideways. Once it triggers, you get a sideways, and then you get a drop after them. Yeah. And this is a 10% drop, 57% drop, 35% drop, 57% drop, 35% drop. So now what I'm waiting on is this candle here. At the moment is green. So now it's in its 2nd day. Is the question is will it turn red? And by the end of the 4th day, we have a bit of a drop going on, and we start moving into this. And we get a drop down. Yeah. So it seems like we're due a drop, and creating that lower low. And again, creating that lower low is getting below this line here at 31.24. So dropping somewhere in the 30 range, or equally, it wants to go and do a lower low here out to 28.50, and again that'll push us down to somewhere around the depending on how high this goes, the 25 range marker. So yeah, and it could be much more, but in and around that. With the idea that we get a lift back up and we do come back down to that range of 19 or 20 cent later on, because I absolutely think that that's a range that we're gonna hit, possibly even lower. So that's what I believe we're looking at. So now let's have a look at the stock RSI. Yeah, you can see the daily bottom right here is properly now after breaking through. This is shooting up. Price action is not going up that far, but the daily stock is really shooting up. I think we're going to get a drop when this turns. As soon as we get this turn, I don't think it's going to stay up here for very long. Yeah. You see the 12 hours working back down. Sorry, just the 4 hour. Let me go to the 12 hour. There's the 12 hour ready to come back down. 8 hours ready to break back into from the overbought. There are 4 hours already coming down. And you can see that this reversal at the moment is the 3 hour, the 2 hour. 3 hours nearly down, 2 hours practically down. 1 hour is doing a gradual push down. Half hour is heading back up. 15 minutes back up. 5 minutes at the bottom at the moment. So you can see that it's taken a lot of effort on the lower hours to get this reversal. But you can see the half hours come back up, ready to push again. The hour can do a wave like that, and it's quite powerful. Yeah. So by the turn of today at 12 is what I'd be hoping for. Is when we look at the 12 hour today. I'll have a quick look at the 10 hour, because the 10 hour turned there. 10 hour turned 90 minutes ago. So again, you can see the VWAP. VWAP was quite high last night, so VWAP was very strong for resistance at the moment. Yeah, you can see the 10 on the 5 on the 10 hours is looking like it could turn. There's the 8 hour looking like it could turn. So all the stock that are all high in the overbought is they're all the higher hours of the day is they're all getting ready to put their back to the wheel of coming down. Yeah, I think the question is the 12 hour the stock is for sure going to turn sideways at least. Is we got to see these 5s turn, and we got to see the 5s turn, because all the way up through here the 5s kept getting pushed back up. So here's the 4 hour, and look, the 10 is starting to bend. We just really need to see, I think, the 4 hour, the 5 and 10 on the 4 hour take a proper turn down and pull the rest down with it. Yeah, because some of these look like the 6 looks like it could keep going up, to be honest, at the moment. Okay, the 3 is finally turned. The 3 was looking like I wanted to go for the last day. Yeah, so we just got to see if we can get that final top and pull it down. Yeah, excuse me. And then I think it's going to go. I think this is, if you look at what happened here, is look, you got this, once it's gradually turned, you get a drop. You get a strong, sharp lift up, and then you get a further drop down. Yeah. Equally on this one, look, you got it once it dropped, you got it all the way to the bottom, all the way back up to the top. This is fairly volatile. This happened really fast, and then down to the bottom again. Yeah. So once this actually spills, there'll be a fair bit of volatility. Yeah. And I think on this one is we will be for sure coming and getting at least a 30 or so. Possibly further, because of the higher time frame. I think is applying a bit of pressure, even though I haven't explained it as well as I could have. Yeah. So now, just to go a little further in, here's the daily stocks, because these are playing out as well. Yeah, these are playing out as well. Here's the daily. Here needs to turn to get this pushed down. So I think that's going to turn tomorrow. The 2 day is, you see, playing at the bottom again. 2 days turning as well tonight. Maybe we'll get a turn down on that. Same with the 3-day. The 4-day is already turned down, which again you see it's bottomed out. But the pressure is still for the 5-day, the 6-day. They're turning tomorrow, and again they're going to come down some more. And then the weekly is going to turn the day after. This is the weekly here, yeah. And then this one here's the 2 weekly. So the 2 weekly even took a bit of it because that turned last Monday. And you can see that the blue line is turned down here on the 2 weekly, so possibly the 2 weekly is going to support that as well. And then when we look at the divergences, you can see this has gone on now in time. This is the 15-minute, this is the half-hour pressure, this is the hour pressure, more pressure. 2-hour has divergence, 3-hour, 4-hour. I even seen one on the 6-hour. 6-hour has divergence as well. So when you see it on the 6-hour, it's really strong. The 4-hour is actually really strong. When you start to see it on the 6, that's what makes me think that there isn't another lift up. That there's going to be it's going to turn here, yeah. And if there is another lift up, I think it'll be just a filthy wick. It'll be up fast and down fast. And that'll just break the back of all the 5s and the later hours. All the 5s and the later hours will just take a sharp turn down if that happens, yeah. If that happens, you might watch the market makers might just want to do a short stop loss hunt. Okay, and then EMAs here. Here's the 5. Here's the 5 very close to crossing over again. 15 is also very close to crossing over. You get a nice spill in these, and again the half-hour and the hour are not too far behind as well, yeah. So that's where you can get that fast drop, is because you can move quickly from the 15 to the hour, and they trigger each other. You get that cascade and it moves fast, yeah. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens. And then with the RSI, the one I'm watching is, here's the 12-hour. So all the way up to the 10-hour has topped out. The only one that hasn't topped out is the 12-hour. And that makes me think possibly one more push up just to get a wick up. And maybe not. And again, this is the daily. And the daily, normally when the daily goes to the bottom, you can see that it goes to the bottom, it has another high, and then it has another drop down. So this is only going down to the bottom once. Is for sure this looks like we're going to have a bunch of days down and come back down here. And possibly the daily turns into a bearish divergence. Is that while the RSI comes down to one level, the price action will go a lot lower. Yeah? And that would then trigger that big pump that I was talking about after that. And the daily will head back up to the top. And we'll have a nice lift up all the way up for December, all the way up to Christmas. It's just a question of how far, how low is this going to go, you know. That's it. Okay, this indicator. Okay, this indicator is fantastic, but I'm still getting used to it, yeah. And I'm not even sure how to even describe this, yeah. It basically is a volume and percentile indicator. It maps out volume and percentage. So you can see on the 4-hour, I leave it on the 4-hour, is you can see when it's excuse me, you got the slow MA here, and you got the fast one. So you can see the fast one is topping out, yeah, but the slow one is picking up. So when you see both turn together and they move, you know you're heading for a drop. But this indicator, what's really fantastic about this indicator, even though it's got nice colors, is you see these red lines, is that when it hits the top and you think, okay, it's hitting the top, it's going to turn down. When one of these red lines comes in, it tells you it's for continuation. So that's what's really good about this indicator, is that you can see here on price action, you see the green pumping up, and you got the 4-hour doing a back test, but this red line has already told you that when this does a back test, there's another pump in it. Okay, so now there's another red line, and we've had a drop, after this pump is we've had a drop, is we've had a lift of green candles here, but it hasn't broken higher. So I'm not sure whether this red line is indicating that this is actually going to break higher, or that it's getting exhausted here and we're going to have another spill down. But it's a very good one. It's a very good indicator, because here's see this spill here. This spill here, it just kept telling you, look, there's more, until it bottomed out. So very good. So potentially, I'm still mindful that there might be one more top to go. Yeah. Okay, so that's my story for now. Is I think one of the things I really wanted to just share is going through the Wyckoff accumulation of the previous. Here's the peak of the 2018 bull run, and here's the whole accumulation cycle that it went through, and that when we look at this this pattern here, I'm gonna have to study this one a bit more, because I think I've gone. Yeah, here's one accumulation. Here's another accumulation. Now I know why I did this, and here's another one, and I'll tell you why. I did this. If you look at this here, I think I had these on earlier and I took them off. Let me see if I can find them now. I had the arcs on them, yeah. Okay, I'll just put them back on. Okay. So there's 3 arcs playing out here, yeah. There is this one. There we go. And again, here's the breakout. So we had the put here actually breakout. We're having this one here, yeah. And then equally is we're going to have a third. Put it here. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about this. I'm going to have to go and look at that a bit more, yeah. Okay, so something like this, 3 arcs, yeah. And overarching all that is one big one. Okay, one big one. And you can see skyline is third spike is double top first drop, mountain peak, and here we are coming down for third drop. And we've had 1 level, we've had 2 levels, and we need a third level. So now this is my argument for a deeper low here. Third drop has a tendency to be at least a 702. At least a 702. So if we put the fib on from the top here to the bottom here, and you go look, I want to make sure I got this right. Make sure I have the bottom here. There we go. Okay. So generally, a third drop is generally at least a 702. And the 702 is 26.6. So I think we're at least coming to a 26.6. Is again, possibly we could be coming down for the 786 at 20 cent or so, yeah, or somewhere within that range, and that would give us our third drop, and then we're going to head back up for final peak, final bounce, and final bounce could be lower, by the way. That would fit in with the greater Wyckoff. It could be lower. Final bounce, final retrace, and then we're going to have a breakout, and that's when XRP starts to really take off into its next bull run. And between now and then, fantastic ranges for accumulation. So whatever we can accumulate in these ranges here is when it takes off here, that's where the real wealth will start to come through. So that's the story. So this here to me looks like this is the crypto crash. Crypto is eating itself here with the shit that's going on. This is the rally up in the stock market, and then this is the stock market next year crashing down, and we'll have a proper drop here. Yeah, this is going to be brutal. And then from there is we're going to have regulations going to come in. We're going to have utilities start coming in. We're going to have the CBDCs coming in. The whole new financials. People are going to start talking. Well, we need a new financial system, and then this will start to build. And again, this will take time to build and gradually take off, and we'll have that lift. Yeah. And regardless of what the rest of the crypto market is doing, I think that's what's going to happen for XRP. And I'll just tell you why. Yeah. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been around since 2010. XRP has been around since 2013. Bitcoin has what, at least four pumps, four bull markets so far, even though this first one was quite small. XRP only has had two, like one and then two. And the reason being is because XRP on this market went into utility. And rather than push itself for speculation, it has been pushing itself as a utility. And what it's been doing is, to be honest, I think they've been suppressing the market. They've been holding it back. And that XRP, I think, is going to be one of the coins that is going to lead the next bull run, and it will be a utility bull run. And I think that the type of movements that's done here, we're going to get one of these here. So just as a simple example, and this is on log, is if I put the fib from the bottom to the top here, yeah. Look, it went to a 2272 here, yeah. And again, that is an impulse. That is a full Fibonacci impulse. If something's going to go in that exponential nature, that's what it is, yeah. So now, if you take the same thing and you go, look, let's say there's the top of the previous bull market. So if you put it here, excuse me, so we put it there as a bottom. Rather than putting it all the way down here, we put it all the way to the top here. Is if you go and have a look at the 2272 here, it's at 430 dollars or so, yeah. Even if it went into the 1618, it's still $34-$35, which a lot of people talk about, yeah. And I think at that point is most people are going to sell their XRP, yeah. And I will be inclined to sell enough to live very comfortably and hold on and wait for these higher ranges, because in the next 5 to 10 years these ranges are going to start to really kick in. Yeah. I'd imagine most of the XRP that I accumulate, I'm never going to sell them. But anyway, I'll stake them. And live off the interest. That's the basic plan. Yeah.